Hello and welcome. I'm Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you're doing well today. And in today's episode, this will be dealing with content that is of a mature nature, as I'll be dealing with true crime events. And then a quick disclaimer, all cases are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. So these are my opinions based on what I'm going to do in this episode on Adam Lanza is look at it from a profile by numbers. And let's just see what the days leading up to the event have to say and the days after in relation to Adam. And all right, so there is a lot of information on this page. And let's go through it slowly. The first thing I want to point out is the large amount of number 5. There are many 5s in these days, right? From December the 12th to December the 16th. Now that is very significant, particularly when a crime has been committed. So 5s is all about deception, lies, deceitfulness, fraud, all the negative human aspects you can imagine when it comes to like crime. And because obviously the year ends in a 2012 as well, so we have a pronunciation of 5s. And now when a crime is committed in a 5-year, very similar to if a crime is committed in a 7-year, in the case of a 5-year, although the perpetrators might get away with it at the time, over time, the crime or the information will be disclosed. And that's the beautiful thing about 5s. 5s can be quite a nasty number, which I'll get into now in a minute. But on the flip side, like with all numbers, if you look at a negative or positive aspect, and of course, mainly in these episodes, I'm dealing with the negative aspect. The positive in this case is that there will be disclosure regarding crimes committed under a 5-year or during a 5-year. So this is quite interesting. So we do have the unfortunate situation, and I know this is a very sensitive subject matter, and I pay due all respects. But what I'm seeing here on December the 14th, let's start there, December the 14th, 2012. Now, already on that day, we have a mass of 555s. Okay, very alarming. And I don't mean to be rude or anything, but bullshit was in the air. Okay. And in particular, that 14-5, the day, the 14-14-5. Now, when you have a number 14-5, in the case of information and truths, is that it's a lie. And I did write a small passage, oh, there it is, by December the 15th, the outcome there, 14-5. So while we're on the 14-5s, you'll see December 14, 14-5, and the end of the December the 15th is an outcome 14-5. Now, I believe the information given about the 14th was a lie. Now, keeping in mind, the event happened before midday, so in the morning. So it would be your first line of numbers is where we're going to see what transpired on that day. Okay? And that 14-5, to start on a 14-5, all bullshit, lies, non-truths, call it what you want. Unfortunately, not what I would imagine I would see on such a horrific day. Which actually, I'm going to go to my second point here, which I think is quite key. So, with numerology, of course, context needs to be taken into account, the time of day, the event, what happened, who was involved. All that needs to be factored in when looking at these numbers. And of course, what I've just was as I mentioned or was about to mention, the 14.5, or as I mentioned, the 14.5 on the December the 14th, to start a day on that number for me, it's not right if the event took place per se, let's say, right? I would expect the day would have started with like what you would see on December the 13th. Now, this is the second point I want to raise here, where we have the 13.4. And we'll note at the end of December the 14th, there's an outcome 13.4. But I want to just focus on that first 13.4. That for me is very suspicious. And I would even go to say Nancy, right, which is Adam's mom, died on that 13.4, a day before, where the reports are saying that Adam had murdered or shot his mom the morning of the 14th. So to me, the story that is relayed, that the death happened on December the 14th, is wrong in so much as if I line up that story with what I'm seeing on the calendar, that story doesn't match the calendar at all. In fact, it's a day early. I would say Nancy died a day before by law enforcement, 25/7, in a hit style, but by 7, and not by her son, as there were more than one person involved but killed by 12/3. All right, there was more than one person involved in the murder on December the 13th. Now, when I went a bit deeper, and I could become called a charlatan after this episode, that's for sure. There also is, and I'm going to say it anyway, or there was definitely interference, that Adam was also in some way or the other, I wouldn't even say kidnapped. I think, what I'm seeing here, okay, so let me tell you where I'm looking. December the 12th. We've got the double 12/3s. Not a good sign, right? A lot of control issues or taking control of a situation, if you like. Then we got the 24/6. The 24/6 is an impact on family with guns. Impact on a family by guns. Okay? With the outcome 11/2, which pings directly on Adam. And the start of the day, December 13th, 13/4, pings directly on Nancy. So it's almost like, and I know this is going to make me sound like a charlatan, but it's almost like a hit took place on these people themselves by an organizational group, staged to make it look like whatever. In that case, Adam shot Nancy before he went to school. And the repetition of that staging continues till December the 14th, because their 26/8 is a staging, in my opinion. And so, although the information sent out to the public is correct in a sense, everything happened a day before, actually, is what I'm picking up here. And again, on December the 15th, at 27/9, that indicates to me more than one person involved. More than one person involved. And on the December the 14th, as well as December the 15th, we have the mess of those 5s. All bullshit, lies, deception. It's a big fraud. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the matter. And I'll be seeing you soon. Stay safe and stay alert.